Morning, both. Welcome to Sea Talk. So, I know that you both introduce yourselves. Amit,
Hi everyone, I'm Amit Puntambekar, nicer retailer based in Cambridgeshire.
Morning all. Ian Lewis from Sparminster Level in West Oxfordshire. Been in the Spar group since '91, but myself only been in retail for 12 years.
and it's been in the family for how long, Ian?
1937, so yeah, a long time.
So, this is the most important issue to all us retailers is crime. This is a thing that affects us day to day, probably keeps us awake at night. And I think all three of us have had, similar instances over the last few months. And I think it's good that we talk about it. I mean, it's good that we talk about it and we share this with the retailers, because this needs to get somewhere into government, and governments need to start realising what we're going through. And maybe there might be some more funds to local policing, right? I mean, Ian, you had a shocking experience just recently, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's really sort of sunk in yet. Just the gravity of what's happened. Boxing Day night, 5 males basically just smashed through the front doors, and then ripped the cash machine out unfortunately from the back to the front, causing extensive damage. And my parents live above the store, so that just makes it even worse. I think if it was a standalone store, would it be any better in a high street? Probably not. But I think just the impact of that, it took my mum probably 3 to 4 weeks before she went to bed. She was just sleeping on the sofa, just kind of waiting for them to come back. And unfortunately, it happened in September, and I sort of said, "Don't worry, it won't happen again." So that kind of wore a bit thin this time around when I sort of said it won't happen again, because hand on heart, sleepy Cotswold Village, whether it's just a nice target, but obviously we've not got the cash machine, so I guess that drops our probability of being broken into again by 50%, I would imagine.
Wow. I mean, I've seen the videos of that. It's really scary. And then when we talk about, it's not just the impact that it has on the family, the impact that it has on the teams, as well as the local community, but you also had challenges with the insurance as well, right? Of how you get all this redone.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we went through it in September, and it seemed to go quite kind of swimmingly, but this time around, I think just the magnitude of what had happened and the money involved, they've been pretty good, but as you know, they don't pay VAT on all the repairs and all the invoices, so you've got to claim that back at a later date. So that puts a real big strain on the business, because people need paying, and you wait until the VAT man pays you back, or you claim it back. But yeah, it's just we've lost about £37,000. We're down from the date of the break-in to sort of last week when we had the doors refitted, and we're getting about £8,000 back, which I get it. I get the calculation, but it's still really, really tough.
Well, and you had great support with Spar throughout this period as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I can't fault them. They've kind of held my hand every step of the way, really. And we're here immediately, just looking to what I could have taken off my plate, because I'm sure you'll agree, once it happens, it's literally coming from all angles. And at the end of the day, we were still open the next day, so we still had a shop to run, we still had deliveries to get in, orders to place, wages to pay. So yeah, they've been really good.
Yeah, and that's a really good thing. And I was watching it as you posting it throughout, to manage to get the store back open the next day. That was a miracle. When looking at the pictures and the amount of damage that they did to the store, that was a lot.
Yeah.
Right? Your store that went, and you had to relocate the opening to the other side of the store, right?
Yeah, so mum and dad's house is kind of connected, so there's a door through from the shop into their sort of porch. And since we've had the doors back open, actually, we're still finding customers coming round the back, and I'm like, the front doors, and they're like, oh, sorry, I just had my head down and just walked straight through the garden, and that was it. So yeah, I've never known egg and glass be such a combination to try and get off the floor. When we were clearing it up, it was absolute carnage. But yeah, we managed to, get it back up and running, and it's still not right. We've still got chiller doors and things like that to replace, but we're just waiting for those to be manufactured. And yeah, hopefully give it a month or so, I think we'll be back straight to where we were.
That's good. And Amit, you had a really scary experience, right? So it's great to see that your face is back to normal now. But tell us about your experience, because that was shocking, right?
Yeah, so we've been getting a lot of petty theft probably since December, January, on an increased scale. Stock control numbers give it at about £235, £250 a week. So it's quite a significant amount.
Wow.
And we had an incident, a couple of weeks ago now, where we kind of caught it in real time on the day. And we had to obviously check CCTV and double check. We have a non-confrontation policy for staff as well. But we basically caught them stealing about £75, £85 of vapes. And what these people are doing, they're then selling these vapes to underage kids at double the price and all of that. I wasn't even supposed to be working. So literally the next day, I just came down and I was going to work and to do an induction for a new member of staff. And I see someone who looks very similar to the people who were in last night coming on the high street. So rush of blood to the head, maybe. But I just went outside and said, you owe us this money for stealing. And as I was dealing with two of them, another one of them just punched me right in the face. My mum was there, so I thought, oh my God, she's going to attack my mum next. So just kind of took control of the situation, and I pinned them against the wall. I had to keep them pinned for 20 minutes. An off-duty police officer who was shopping with us ended up taking over from me. And then the police finally came after 25 minutes. So you're having to hold someone who's trying to push against you, who's trying to keep attacking you against the wall for 20 minutes. Police on the phone, absolutely useless. You've got I didn't know if my eye had been punctured. I could just feel this red stuff coming down my eye. I didn't know if there was any damage. And all the police ladies on the phone is, can you speak to me? And I was like, well, not really. I've got two arms. I'm holding someone against the wall here. Absolutely useless. I shouldn't say that, but that's how it felt at the time.
Yeah.
You've just been attacked on the street, and you've got a gashed eye. You don't know if there's any more damage. They didn't even bother to call an ambulance out to check my eye in case that there was any serious thing. I had to wait in A&E for 2 hours. I thought, well, you've caught the person who's attacked you. You've caught them stealing. You've told this to the police. Why is it taking 25 minutes to get here? Yeah,
but this is the thing. I mean, it seems like the lack, and we're at the bottom of the chain when it comes to any problems within our stores, whether it's a break-in, a robbery in store, GBH, whatever it might be. We need to get reprioritized, because we have store teams in our store. We're not paid to take abuse. We're there to give a community service, which we all do a great job of. But it's how we get the officials to start understanding that our stores are the heart of the community. We employ people from our local community. That's why they're there. But start taking this abuse from we've seen it in our stores. Some kids at the age of 12 and 13 and what they try to take. We had them in store last week in our grocery store, and there was 3 girls. It's probably our own fault. This Dubai chocolate we decided to put in store. 7 bars she stole.
Oh.
And how are you supposed to stop them? Because you're not allowed to literally hold them in the store anymore. You've got to wait till they go out the store and then you report it. We were thankful that one of the girls that works for us, stepped in. She managed to get her mum on site, but the mum wasn't really helpful when she come. She said, like, why have you done this for? But it's a lot of money, 7 bars at 17 quid, right?
Yep. There's this perception that shoplifting is victimless, right? And it's quite a held belief that, oh, they all claim it on their insurance. But I'm sure, as Ian knows and has gone through that experience, it's very challenging to claim for insurance, and no retailers claim through their insurance because the premiums that get attached to it could do quite long-standing damage to your business.
Yes.
We only claim on insurance on an absolute essential, if there's property damage or a severe break-in. But I think people in other industries believe that, they're only stealing, 15, 20 pounds, or, but, that 15, 20 pound adds up. We're not claiming it on insurance. The net margins in our business, you're looking at 6.5 to 8.5%. So my example, I forecasted, we should stop talking about theft at say like a weekly loss volume, and we should start saying, well, in a year, I'm forecasted to lose £238,000. That's £250,000.
Yeah.
£250,000 of turnover lost. That number to me hits much harder than £250 a week, because that's how much turnover I'm losing in theft.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I've started looking at it. How much turnover do I need to grow to counter this high theft issue, if that makes sense?
But surely, Ian, how much longer can we sustain these costs that are hitting us, right? Because, whether it's £1 or it goes up to £250,000, we can't sustain these much longer, can we?
No, it's impossible. Times are so difficult at the moment. Really, really, really tough. Without a break-in or anything like that, just a normal trading day, everything that's stolen just has a knock-on effect. I know I read somewhere where you have one item stolen, it affects the gross profit on the next 3, 4, 5, 6 items that you're trying to sell. I had a little dig around on the internet yesterday, just sort of looking at sort of newspaper articles about our break-in, and I saw one comment, and it kind of hit home. It said, probably just hungry, nicking from a big franchise like Spa. And I thought, that is the exact perception, I think, that people just don't have any idea. They see Spa, Nisa.
Yeah.
They have no idea what is behind that. They just see Spa sponsoring the International Olympics. Oh, it's a massive company. But they don't realise, and someone put him right, actually. He said, do you realise that's a family business? He's, oh, yeah, sorry, I didn't realise. So whether that is half the issue, maybe we'll go back to being a local, shop on the corner, or, it's, take the fascia down. But it really does annoy me when people just perceive us as, oh, they can afford it, they're a big company. But it's the costs are just astronomical at the moment.
Yeah, I used to do it in my business when we used to have something, and I used to use the word scumbag, and I always put it on Facebook and that, and I had the same problem. I had one lady comment on there, maybe they were hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, I'd rather someone come and ask if they haven't got any food. Say, look, I haven't got no food for my family, and all of us would give something to someone that hasn't got something, rather than it being taken from us. This is just costing us an absolute fortune, whether it's us three or, the thousands of retailers that are up and down the country every day. And, it puts that big question mark on it. But I think, to conclude, I'm going to ask you both one thing. What would you like government to do for us? What message would you like to send out?
For me, it's resource. It's something has got to be invested in somewhere. They can talk about all these apps that I've been given by Thames Valley Police, how to record. It makes no difference whatsoever. They've got to have resource to be able to have, in Amit's situation, someone there with not in 20 minutes, in sort of 2 minutes, but like we all know, there's no way you're going to get anyone to come out for 75 quid, 100 quid, 150 quid. It's all just a number. So yeah, for me, it's just investment.
Cool. And Amit?
We need to remove the £200 threshold for investigation. We need to start, and we need the police to start seeing that this isn't a victimless crime. What's going to happen is shoplifting is going to escalate into more severe levels of violence. We've already got physical violence happening on the daily, I would say, across the country. The next thing is going to be weaponized violence. What do we need? How many people do we need to die? Who would just go to work because the police aren't dealing with these consistent shoplifters? That's the next step, right? Give it 2 more years.
Yeah, and I think that is it. Unfortunately, this is, in my view, now shoplifting has become more organised, and they know what they're doing. They come in for that reason. They know they've got a buyer for that product already. Anyone says that they're doing it because they need it, it's nonsense. This is all done. It's pre-ordered, and they know where to go. But look, thanks both. Thanks for coming on, and I hope this year's a lot better, which we can only hope for. And we're independent retailers, right? This is what we do.
Cheers, Paul. Cheers, Amit.
That's Paul.